Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Friday, February the 21st. The year's 2025. Let's talk trading. Weekly wrap up. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. As always, make sure that you have your risk management in place. Never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. So let's take a look at the week here. For the pound, we can see we are 59 pips above the weekly open. We're also above the previous week's high, and 34 pips or 33 pips now off the weekly high, and 82 off the low. And according to the dashboard, all the weekly gaps have filled. Zooming out to the month, we are 355 pips above the monthly open, or above the previous month's high. And once again, 34 pips off the monthly high and 396 off the monthly low. For the day, you can see here we are above the opening range for the day. We broke out of the opening range to the actually to both sides on Thursday and Wednesday. We are above the opening range for the year and above the opening range for the month. For the year, 134 pips above the yearly open, 34 off the yearly high, and 546 off the yearly low. And we have finally, we're still in. Yesterday we broke into the inside bar of the monthly inside bar from 13 months ago. And that low is at 26.40, which you know I like to call the 40s on the pound, the launch pad. We had a daily inside bar 3 days ago and a weekly inside bar 8 weeks ago. And we are above both of those inside bar ranges. And according to the dashboard, we've got some inside bar action happening. Today, very interesting, we had red news, but as you can see, not much movement. The yen pairs move, but the pound dollar only 42 pips. Pretty anemic. And you can see here, we was crisscrossing the daily open back in the London session. You can see now we are heading south. Range is too low for rat zone. Okay, said price near the pivot was long. We're heading back down towards that pivot. You can see here on H4, we are a few pips, about 3 pips below that H4 open. See if we can capture a nice H4 range there. We've taken out the daily pivot. We've missed the weekly pivot. Looks like we're going to miss it because we're off by 125 pips. And we've taken out the monthly pivot. And so we've got 2 missed pivots this month and this year so far. The in and out of that upper wick zone a few times, which was a pretty small range. And speaking of range, the smart ranges. In fact, there was a trader out there on Facebook, or not Facebook, on the on my YouTube channel that was asking about an indicator that shows the ranges, and it would be the smart range indicator. I think there might also be a TRO ranges indicator in the mother load that just shows the range, but the smart range also shows the percentile where it lies at the moment. So for the week, 115 pips of range, 8 percentile. High minus previous high, we had a breakout of 48 pips. Low minus previous low, we did not break out, so that means we have a higher bar, higher highs and higher lows. High minus close for the rats, 37 pips. Close, that's for the red rats. Close minus low is 78 for the green rats. Weekly. High minus open for the weekly crossover traders, 94 to the upside. High minus open to the downside, open minus low, 21. So trading those horizontal lines, once again, can give you an opportunity to take profit. And so here's a look at that smart range indicator. We're looking at 12 bars of data here. I think there was one chart where it took up the whole chart, had 24. I think that's what that trader was looking for. And if you need to know, the smart ranges was a 2020 donational. I think I may have made an update or was working on an update. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. And looking at some more price action here, highest low, lowest high. You can see right here, we're getting a long trigger off of a 3-ball. And that 39 number, that was significant. I'm trying to remember what I saw. It was somewhere. You can see here, resistance turns to support. Oh, I think that might have been a turn trade. I might have seen that. And you can see here, once again, that launch pad taking off. It's just something about the 40s. Price just likes to do that. And my timing to make the video right when it was producing a launchpad trade. Oh, look at that. You could have taken that lower high, good for 6 pips at the moment. Not bad. Price turn wick zone, yeah, see, that's what I remember, that 39 number. I was looking at that earlier. Price turn wick zone right there. Notice what it did. Price came down, covered that M30, and then took off. Okay, so range by month, 429 this month. Where does that put us in the ATR percent for the month? 109, so we've exceeded the ATR. And let's see the percentage. So now, if you had bought and held from the yearly open, you'd be up 1.14% on your money. That's that's better than a 2% swing here if you bought the dip. And let's see, we'll start with the day and work our way back up. So for the daily, you can see we're inside the previous candle body. In other words, price between the wick zones, higher high, higher low. And we cross below the daily open here. And that's about it. So for the week, we're above the upper wick zone, buyer strong control. You can see here we had a turn, continuation, above the previous mid and above the pivot. Still want to fade the pivot for a sale. And let's see, let's take a look at the month. You can see here we broke out above the previous month's high. We're above the upper wick zone. Buyers strong control right now. Above the previous mid, above the pivot, and a higher high, higher low. Trying to remember if there was any other questions out there. Oh, look at price run now. But you know, if you look to the left, you can see here that we were stuck in this range. So now we exceeded it to the downside, and we exceeded it to the upside. You'll see that a lot. Price will do that. And the thing is, you know, there's so many things you can look at, and then in hindsight, you go, well, why? It's like, oh, yeah, I see that. You know, the old hairy hindsight. So when you see those things, put them down on a 3x5 card. Now, and I mean that literally because there's been scientific studies that show when you write things down, your learning increases. In fact, Walmart was telling me that I think his daughter's in medical school. They don't allow them to have cell phones and tablets or PCs, you know, laptops, Chromebooks. They make them take their notes with paper and pencil because of that study. So I'm serious. Um, Write those things down on a 3x5 card and put each one on its own 3x5 card. And then that way you can shuffle the deck. You can pull out the ones you need to work on or the ones you definitely, you know, don't want to miss. And if you remember that one video, was it last week? Fix one thing or something like that. That's what you need to work on, one thing at a time. Just because if you start to eliminate one thing at a time that you shouldn't do, or you start to do one thing at a time that you should be doing, it's going to improve. Your trading will improve. You know, and it's funny because with some of these methods, you know, they're very, very simple. But you know, the methods I come up with aren't really designed to make, you know, bucket loads of pips. I mean, right here, even this trade here, if you would have taken it, you would have maybe made, let's see, you could have picked up maybe 15 pips, but that's not really what it's designed to do. I mean, every now and then it'll happen, but, and that happened over what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 or 6 minutes. So, you know, you can take, you know, like you could take this method, you could expand it out to say H1. And remember, this is the last 34 bars of high. So right here, this would have been the highest open. And notice you could have gotten a pip or two, maybe a little bit more. And price came back, and then it took off, and then it came almost back to that line. You'll notice these oscillations. And unless you're willing to sit in a trade for hours, you know, that's how you get the big pips. You know, on that smart range chart, you can see here, yeah, some of these hours you can get 10 or 20 pips, but that's not what the system's designed to capture. So, fellow traders, I'm going to wish you a fun and safe weekend. And I want you to always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.